All right, one more video and then I really have to get to my learning. But there's another aspect of the sefirah Omer that's very important. So, Bruchim Aboyim, welcome everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. And I'm sorry I was a little rude there, but I'm a little nervous about forgetting to learn. I thought I was going to make a quick video. The second video was pretty quick, but I felt a need to explain what the Omer is before we continue on. So anyway, here's the really obscure parts of the sefirah Omer, customs that I have found, and there are probably many others I don't know about, but these are two at least that I know about. One is, and I don't know if anybody else where this custom came from, but I know that the Satmar Rav, today's the yard site of the Berech Moshe, his nephew, who was his successor as Satmar Rebbe, and I plan, Eretz Hashem, to go to Monroe to make a pilgrimage to his grave today, at least briefly. And it happens that I have to pick up two of my children there anyway. So the Satmar Rav had a custom that each Shabbos of sefirah to recite by as this part of the Zmiris of the Shabbos day meal of lunch on Shabbos, the Shira Yichud. There are 7 Shira Yichud, which generally people say that they were made by Rabbi Yehuda Chassid or either his father Reb Shmuel. There's a whole question who wrote the Shira Yichud, but you find that if you have the Machzor for Yom Kippur, I know the Art Scroll Machzor for Yom Kippur has it, it's for 7 days of the week, and because the old custom was that each day of the week, either before davening in the morning or after davening in the morning, to recite the Shira Yichud. And why that fell out of practice is a discussion for another time. But the Satmar Rav had the custom of, and I personally think people should, even if they're not saying it in the shul publicly, I think on their own, I think it's a good practice to recite the Shira Yichud every day. I know people disagree with that, but that's how I feel. That I feel it's a very important thing. And these are beautiful hymns about theology. It's really a theology lesson in verse form. And so in Satmar and by most other Hasidim, you're going to say every Shabbos the Shir Yichud for Shabbos is part of the Shabbos Miras, and then but the weekday ones are generally forgotten about except on the night of Yom Kippur. And we discussed that, why that is. A lot of people are mistaken the history of that. But then and that's why it's in the Yom Kippur Machzor. But essentially, that's what we each of the weeks, meaning the week of Chesed, you'll say the Shir Yichud for Sunday. The week of Gur, you say the Shir Yichud for Monday, etc. As part of the Shabbos, that was what the Satmar Rav's minhag was, Shabbos Miras. And I think it's a beautiful thing to do. Now the question is, well, we missed Chesed already, but the interesting thing, that was last Shabbos. The interesting thing was that when it was like this year, Satmar Rav's minhag was that you said, because there was no Shabbos Chol Hamoed, he would say on this Shabbos both Sunday and Monday, and then the following Shabbos Tuesday and the following Shabbos Wednesday, etc. So it's a little bit long. If you have trouble with Hebrew, I would encourage you to read in English, especially if the Art Scroll Yom Kippur Machzor, it's in there after Maariv. It's a beautiful thing, and I encourage everybody to look at that. The other thing, which is perhaps even more beautiful, is the Ahava and Geula for the Yemei HaSefirah. Now, the history of this is that in the Yotzros, there was such a thing that to add piyutim, even in actually the word Yotzros refers to piyutim that you add during Birkas HaKriya Shema by the brach of Yotzer Or. and what we call yoitzris really aren't yoitzris. The ones that are recited in Psukkah de Zimra, I mean in the Chazoras Hashatz, those are not technically yoitzris. Those would be called piyutim, but we, whatever it is, or kroivit, and those are the ones that halachically are more oisgehalten to say, to recite during the Chazoras Hashatz, but a lot of people, even by Chazoras Hashatz, hold it's a hefsek, so they say it afterwards, and then because of that, a lot of people just stop saying it altogether, which is not right. And you should at least say it, even if you don't say it in shul, you should at least say them during in place of as part of the Zmiris on that Shabbos during the Suda. You ate already, now you can sing Zmiris, and you only have, these are things that come once a year. It's something one should chaperayim. Now they're not printed in that many Sidurim, but I do have it. I don't have it in English, and maybe I should translate it to English. But you have, for the days of Sefirah, for the Bracha of Ahava Rabbah, and before Goal Yisrael, you also have Yoitzers for the Shabboses between Pesach and Shavuos. And so this Shabbos we start that, and these are beautiful, beautiful piyutim. If one has the opportunity to say them, I would highly recommend it, because they are so beautiful and inspiring, and I really love them. And so those are, and again, we use those for Zmiris during the Shabbos meal. I do not recommend adding them, because that it is a hefsek according to most poskim. Certainly Maizeh the Chavas Yor, even though the minhag in Verms was to do these types of things, he frowned upon it, and he wrote about it, how really the only ones that should be said in the davening are the ones that are by Chazoras Hashatz, but the ones by Birkas Kriya Shema, it's very controversial because it's a major hefsek, and so I wouldn't recommend necessarily saying them unless that's really your minhag. I wouldn't recommend saying them in the I'm not going to say you have to change the minhag if that's actually your minhag, but most people who I know who even know about this, they use this as Zmiris for Shabbos day, and they are quite beautiful, and so I highly, highly recommend them if you understand Lashon HaKodesh, to look into them. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. We'll see you later.